Welcome back, you lovely lot. It's our new sale at Manor Park Classics on Saturday the 16th of September. Now, if you're clever and if you've subscribed to our feed, you're seeing this early and you've got 3 days to look at all these cars, register to bid and even come and see them. If you haven't done that, you could be watching this weeks down the line and you've missed a great sale. So there's the moral of the story. Like, subscribe and ring that bell. But onwards we go. Excuse the mess. We're having to remodel because we've got 120 lots. We've had to change the building to fit them all in. So apologies for the mess. We'll be sorted by Saturday. But let's start at the top. What's not to love with this? A 1960 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 2. I'm just drinking in the smell here, guys. I wish you could smell this. It's beautiful. Fresh leather. It's probably the nicest one we've seen. Probably one of the most beautiful restorations that has ever been done to one of these. Just have a look inside, Elliot. So it's done 94,000 miles. There aren't a huge amount of the parts of the car that are at 94,000 miles. It's had wonderful paint, mason black over sand, with a single red line, which looks gorgeous. It's had a retrim, it's had electric window upgrade, it's had modern air conditioning fitted, it's had a lovely engine rebuild by a Rolls-Royce engineer in 2013, it's had a gearbox refurbishment. It's just had everything. This car has won multiple awards. It is flawless, basically. If you want one of these that you can actually use, because it's got things like the modern air conditioning, it's just a little bit nicer to live with, this is the one. What would you pay for a car like this? We've estimated it at 45 to 50,000 pounds. I think there's a real charm to these older rollers. I think they just scream old money and like you're trying less hard. So for 50 grand, think of what you can buy in the modern Rolls-Royce range. This hugely eclipses it, and with the very subtle and nice changes that they've made, I think that's a usable car, and I just think it's stunning, absolutely stunning. Just taking a moment just to look at the paintwork on that, guys, because it's next level. It's the only word to describe it. But moving on, if your budget is a little more modest but no less tasteful, how about this 1975 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow with a ridiculous service history? This car has not had an MOT advisory for 17 years. So go through, you can see the registration number, pull the MOT history, see for yourself, or go and look at our video file, you can see what it's got. It's beautiful, I adore the colours. I think I'm getting older because I'm loving browns and beiges. They're suddenly appealing to me very much. Fabulous colour combination, how 70s. Supplied by Jack Barkley, which we all know is a nice way to start life. Excuse the noise in the background, guys. I'll show you what all the mess is in a minute. Have a look inside there. Imagine wafting through the countryside in your 94,000 mile Shadow. It's just nice. Leather's nicely patinated. So it's very, very clean, very, very presentable. If I'm being super fastidious, and you know me, guys, I like to try and be your eyes and ears, because if you can't be here, if you're bidding remotely, we have people buying from India, from Australia, so I'm going to try and be honest. Tiny bit of micro blistering on the back there, look. A couple of tiny bits. If you were being super pedantic, I would paint the roof to make this car almost perfect. And don't forget, it's a 1970s car. A couple of tiny little micro blisters around the back. Or just enjoy it and drive it as it is. Not going to be a huge amount of money, 10 to 12 grand, to look that good in what I think is one of the nicest colour combinations. And it's a Shadow. What's not to love? Moving on. Now, anyone who knows me, I grew up in a Saab household and then worked from Saab from 1994 to 2000. So Saab is very, very dear to my heart. This, to my mind, is the finest car they ever made. This is the 900 T16S of 1992 vintage. Not only a great car anyway, cherry red with buffalo hide, which is a really lovely combination. And this is the full fat, the 175 brake horsepower version. But it isn't, because it went to Abbott Racing. Of course, Abbott used to run Saab's own race team for them and were the tuner of note during the 90s and noughties. And let me tell you about this. Only 77 16Ss left. Sunroof car, of course, being a 16S. It's got modified valves, intake and exhaust. All of that done at Abbott. Charge cooler kit, fuel pressure regulator, dump valve and ITG sports filters. It's had a lot of money spent. It's a really nice car. It's got a set of super aeros on, off the 9000 aero of 94 vintage. If you go on eBay and have a look, a set of those wheels is £1,000 now. What a nice thing. Mileage is 144,000, which is nothing on a Saab, particularly if it's being maintained like this. Paintwork is really good, interior is really good, and all you Saab nerds are already seeing rear wash white. Very, very desirable accessory that hardly anybody fitted, but makes a big difference to the car. You could own that car for somewhere between 8 and 10 grand. Fast, stylish, enormous boot. I adore it. Another car that's a favourite of mine, and a real hero of mine, Peter Stevens, of course, redesigned Giugiaro's finest work, the Esprit. And this was the results. This is a 1990 Lotus Esprit. Really nice car. We are going to clean it. It's just been outside in the dust. This one's done 71,000 miles. Really nice car. Presents and drives very well. Loads of paperwork with this one. And you just can't go wrong with an Esprit. I just think these have been relatively inexpensive, these later cars. Look at the price of the Giugiaro cars. They've now gone a bit crazy. The Peter Stevens cars are starting to come up too, and this is just a really nice, unmolested, standard example with loads of paperwork, got loads of bills. Do have a little pull of the history file. If you go onto every listing for every car, there's extra pictures, extra history, and you can have a proper look. This will be somewhere between about 19 and 21. Look at the price of the Giugiaro cars. They can be 70, 80 for a really good one now. Don't they seem like an absolute bargain? And in some ways, they're easier to live with, they're nicer to drive. There's a little bit more cabin space on the later cars as well. I think they're wonderful and really a little passport back in time to a great design period for Lotus. And when they were still doing wonderful things, that's a great car. You could take that home for 21 plus bits. What a way to travel. Now, the next car, bizarrely, I even like more because the XL, unlike the Esprit, is front-engined. And because of that, you get a load of legroom. So being 6'4" with very long legs, I don't fit in many mid-engine cars, but I do fit in the XL. This is lovely, 1988. What can I tell you about this? Well, we've actually sold this car before. It's done 73,000 miles. We sold it a couple of years ago. The owner's had his funds, put it back in, fancies something else. Great registration number, that comes with the car, loads of paperwork. Even the air conditioning works. Air conditioning's been gassed up and charged. So the paintwork, it's a plastic car, don't forget. So again, tiny, tiny little bit of micro blistering on the roof. Leather is lovely and the interior is lovely. I'll let Elliot come by and give you a little look. It's patinated, it's not concours, but then would you want it to be? I just think you'd want to have this car and enjoy it and have some fun with it. It's a manual, great engine. So the odometer was overhauled and recalibrated in 2016. So it shows a mileage that's lower, but we can tell you now it has got 73,000 miles showing, but it's 10,000 lower than that. So please just check that history and assure yourself for the mileage. The nice thing is it's had a speedo change. It's all very clearly documented, but just make sure before you bid, if you're bidding from afar, that you've checked that out. I love that. Just a nice car. You can make it perfect as you drove it. And like I say, if you're taller like me and you don't want to try and squash yourself into an Esprit, an XL is very nice, and an XL SE is even better. I don't know how the lads have done an amazing job this time. So many cars in the sale I would like to own. An Arnage, 2001 Bentley Arnage red label. It's just mega. Last of the proper crew Bentleys, these. Just built with an opulence and a finish that I don't think they ever quite got again. This to me is the last of the proper crew Bentleys. Yeah, you could argue there's a bit of BMW in it, but it's still a great car. It's a great service history with 19 service stamps, 16 of which are Bentley main dealers on this one. Full set of matching Pirellis as well. Really, really nice old money colour combination. It's got tellies in the back, so if you've got kids or rear passengers, you're going to keep them very, very happy. Just have a look. Have a look in there. It's just beautiful, isn't it? And the nice thing about an Arnage, they're a lovely place to sit in the back of, but they're a really nice car to drive yourself. And a full dealer book pack from Jack Barkley. He's doing well out of us. But this is the crazy thing. Car like this, look at it, drink it in, estimated 16 to 18,000 pounds. They're not a huge amount of money, but if you don't know what year that is, that just screams lottery winner, captain of industry. Just a fabulous car, and they do drive beautifully. And they can be relatively sensible with this engine to look after. It's not the 675, it's not too bad. Great, great car, that one. Adore it. Maybe you do too. Now we're going to walk through here, come with me. This is a bit of fun. I'm going to walk you past this. This is a good friend of ours, Rob. This is in the next sale. If you fancy a very cool patinated accessory Beetle, that's going to be in the October sale. Knock yourself out if you fancy that. Now, Mini Mokes, you've seen, have made a bit of a comeback. You can buy them new. I was at Goodwood a couple of days ago. There's a company that does these brand new and electric, and they're an awful lot of money. You could buy this one for a lot less than that. This is a 1989 Anderson Motor Company Cub. It's a Moke, isn't it, really? So it's a recreation of the Moke. It's a project, don't get me wrong. There's a bit of work to do. You can see there's a bit of corrosion on these side panels, which would be very, very easy to replace. It's got 26,000 miles showing. It's got all the weather equipment. All the parts are there, guys. Wouldn't this be a great winter project? Just lock yourself in your barn or your workshop. Everything's there. Just go through. It's got all the ball bars, the roll cage. It's a low mileage thing. Bit of fun for the summer. And it's no reserve. So if you want something that's, I think, potentially a great money earner for you, because this will make money over what it goes for versus what it sells for if you get it running and looking pretty. These now electric are 35, 40 grand. There's money to be made, guys. I can feel it. This is cool. 1996 Rover Mini Equinox. So it's got some mods, but I happen to think that the mods that they've done are very nice. So it's done 55,000 miles. It's got the arches, it's got the mini lights. Inside is absolutely fabulous. These really did have a very nice interior, so no need to change that. 5 former keepers. Drove here 80 miles, absolutely fine. It's got the aftermarket rev counter on there as well. And it was restored 10 years ago. And you know me, I like to see cars that have sat in a restoration. Nothing worse, guys, than a freshly restored car, because you don't know what you're getting. Every car looks good the week after it's restored. A car that was restored 10 years ago that still looks good, that was a great restoration. So have a little look around the bodywork here. It's got a nice 38 carburettor on it. It's got adjustable high-low suspension, Yokohama tyres, 2 sets of keys. It's got an awful lot going for it, this little car. And funny enough, the modified stuff, you tend to buy a little bit less than the standard stuff, so that could be a bit of a bargain. We've got that at 3.5 to 4.5 grand. Mini prices seem to be going up and up and up, so that represents to me a bit of a bargain, a nice car for not a huge amount of money. Moving on, so this is kind of the evolution of the Mini. We should start with the first year, the purest year. The year that everybody wants to go for the Mini is the first year, 59, that's when they came out. So if you're looking at Isigonis's vision, what he wanted the car to look like in terms of every single design detail. There's some very clever things on a Mini, the sliding windows, the door bins that take a bottle of wine, the very simple dashboard that has all the storage space. In some ways, to me, the early Minis are cleverer than the later ones if you have a look inside. Because Isigonis had this vision to make the door, you can see you get 2 full bottles of wine in there. Look at all the storage space on the dashboard. Now that all got lost on the later cars, and it kind of undid his very clever design. So for that reason, collectors love the 59. It's the pure vision, it's the cleverest use of space, and I think the prettiest car. Now this one's great, it's done 11,000 miles, UK right-hand drive, home market supplied car. It's had an engine rebuild in 2020, 2 grand's worth. And it's in November 59, so it's super, super early, that one. Workshop manual, driver's book, bit of history with it as well. And you could buy that for 17 to 19. They're not cheap early Minis, but you're not going to find much earlier than a November 59, so that's a good one to buy. Moving on to this. This is fun, isn't it? Now I'm going to stress, guys, you're not going to buy this and go racing quickly. So this is a wonderful Formula 4 single-seater. What do I know? I don't know a huge amount about this. Interesting project, loads of invoices, original invoices and build list, photographs of the car complete. So in theory, if you wanted to and spend all the money, you could put this car back to racing, but there's a lot of work. I think this would make a wonderful curio. You could fit another engine and drivetrain into it, which would be a lot of fun. But it's a no reserve car. So you could buy it, you could fix it up, you could re-drivetrain it, or you could just polish it and clean it, stick it on your wall as an ornament. I think that would be quite a fun thing to do with it. But either way, you decide the price. You tell us what you think it's worth. So a lot of fun, that. Moving on to this, a 71 Cooper S1275. Now we like this because it appears to be the original body shell. It's certainly correct for the year. 9,000 miles showing. It's an older restoration, so I'm guessing that 9,000 miles is from the Odo reset from the restoration. And it's been in the same family since 1996. Now have a look inside. This again, to me, I love the 70s era cars because you still get a little bit of the dash partial self. You get the centre binnacle. This is a very nice thing. Again, older resto. And looking at the stickers on the window, someone's loved this look. This car has had a life. It's been to all the shows, all the club meets. Let's have a look around. The seams are very good. You can see it's been restored, but the gutters are good, the seams are good. All the places where they go, this one hasn't. I adore the colour, and I bet that's a lot of fun. Little 10-inch mini lights, so they always ride and drive very nicely on the 10-inch wheels. That's a great car. What would you pay for that? Well, quite a lot, because it's a genuine Cooper. 25 to 27, should buy you that. But you're not going to find many genuine Coopers with that level of history and provenance. That's a wonderful thing. Moving on to this. We see it again. I'm surprised this hasn't sold. 1964 Morris Mini Minor Traveller, outstanding condition, and again, an older restoration. Can't go on about this enough, guys. Older restos are the ticket because you can just see what you've got. Paint on this is exceptionally good, actually. With a Traveller, you can see any imperfections in the roof because it's such a big panel. Have a look down there. That's really, really straight. Beautiful nick, lovely attention to detail, ready to show, basically. And unusual to find in this condition. And I prefer the Minor Traveller without the wood. I just think they look better. It was part of a private collection. It really needs nothing at all. And for you to buy this car, estimate about 14 to 16. Let me open the door for you because it's very, very nice inside. And we talk about the definition of a practical classic, don't we? Cars that you can use, take the family, take the dog. Lovely thing about this, you know, it will do 65, 70 on a motorway. You can have your picnic hamper and your kids in the back. It's just a very usable car. This is also lovely, 1990 Rover Mini Flame, loads of money spent, 52,000 miles. Again, tastefully modified. I don't mind a modified Mini at all. To me, it's what they're all about. Particularly if what they've done is in keeping with the look of the car. So we've got the bigger arches on this, the wider wheels, so the stance is fabulous. Inside again, we've got a mounting wheel, which is a nice little mod. We've got the seat drop, we've got the column drop, we've got the extended seat runners. So again, if you're a larger person, like me, you'll probably find this is a much comfier one to sit in. It's been done well, hasn't it? The body's very, very good. Let's have a look at the paint. Just a little bit of kind of detailing to do in the gutters, but it's not bubbling where they normally bubble. Tiny, tiny bit around the edge of the screen. I'm being super picky here, guys. A couple of tiny cauliflowers on the bottom of the screen around there. So again, a car that you can just have some fun with. You can drive, enjoy, and maybe in the winter, you get your body shop just to clean up the screen. But you could buy that with all of those bits, which would cost you several thousand to do yourself, for 5 to 6 grand. In a great colour. Look like Paddy Hopkirk, have some fun. And the beauty of modified Minis is they are amazing to drive, and also you're not going to be too precious with them. Think about the 59 and the Traveller, they're so nice, you might be a little bit scared to use them. Stuff like this, you take it out and kick its head in, and that's what it's all about. This is also very lovely. 1966 was a great year here in Great Britain. Of course, we won the World Cup. Things were at an all-time high. We were a cool nation, and we were building cars like this. This is lovely, isn't it? 1966. Morris Mini 1275 ASP. So this is a little custom spec car, a bit of fun that someone's had. So this has even got power steering. So if you're a purist, look away now. This is not the car for you. But have a look around. You've got these lovely Gemini wheels. They're very, very cool. Inside, look. Again, crazy dashboard. Someone's been doing very much their personal thing. Column drop on that one as well. Cool audio system. I like it, look. I like the way it sits, I like the way it looks. Bare metal restoration around 15 years ago. And what have we learnt about older restorations, guys? They're the ones to look for. And again, sitting very, very well in this older paint. Gutters are exceptional. They're very good. It's good around all the seams, good around the screen. I think that was a good body shell, whoever did that one. It looks like a Cooper, doesn't it? Done loads of tours and rallies. But unlike a Cooper, you could buy that for 5 or 6 grand. And if you were a purist, if you wanted to make, I would maybe go for like a walnut dash effect in there, make it look a little bit like an older 60s car. That could look very cool. Just a tiny little cauliflower on the bonnet, so one to sort out, or just pop a new bonnet on it. Simple fix, very, very nice. I like that a lot. But this, ooh, I'm in love with this. Metros are cool, MG Metros are cool, early MG Metros are exceptionally cool. This is a 1985. It's showing 17,000 miles, and when you start to go through the history and the paperwork and look at the condition of these, I think that's genuine. We think that's genuine. What can I tell you? The first owner's had it for 35 years, so we've got a lot of provenance with it. It's a very rare car. And if you want to imagine what it was like to walk into Jack Ath Hopewell's in 1985, which I did with my mum, and we looked at one of these, and she ended up buying a City because she couldn't quite afford it. This is what it would look like. It's worn exceptionally well. And all of this, particularly if you look at the seat bolsters, which have never been done, that's why I think that's the genuine mileage. All of the trim, the paint, everything. Those lovely wet... Oh, sorry, Elliot, I've just shut the door on you there. Come on, guys, have a look at that. 2 owners in total. Maybe you could be the 3rd. And what's interesting, all this BL stuff, which kind of languished and people thought BL stuff was a little bit naff for a while. I don't get it. I thought it was always quite cool. But people are starting to realise, because it meant so much to so many of us, because so many of our dads had them, our mums had them, our grandparents, they're starting to resonate with people now. Because of that, the market price for BL stuff is going up. And also interesting, sporty, low mileage, provenance BL stuff really is very good news. And this is all of those things. I don't know if you can tell on the telly, this isn't the white, this is the off-white, kind of like the old English white. I've never seen one in that colour. They were always bright red, black, red, very unusual. So there's a lot to love there, and they drive really well. It's just a Mini with a party frock, but good fun to drive. People often ask me about starter classics. What's a nice car to buy that won't cost a huge amount of money, that looks lovely, that's nice to drive, has a nice little owners club? How about this? Hillman Minx. You don't see them very often. And to me, this is the time when we were doing Mini Americano. I love American cars with all my heart. And to me, you can see with this Roots Group design, a little bit of sort of Studebakery around the back, I always think, the Hillman Minx. This one is a 62. It's had paint a long time ago and it's just sort of patinated beautifully. This is by no means a concours car, but it's very beautiful, very presentable and very usable. Have a look inside. Let me open the door for you, Elliot. I'm going to come around there and show you. Look inside. There's a bench seat on the front, adjustable bench seat, but also these gearboxes, these 4-speed, 4-on-the-floor gearboxes, have got a really beautiful change. They're a fabulous thing to drive. Not fast. You're going to be unlikely to get a speeding ticket. But when you look that good, why drive away from all those admiring glances? That has done 73,000 miles. And we think, looking at the paperwork in the kitchen, we think that's genuine. We really do. Just charming colour. What would you pay for that? What would you pay for that? 3 to 4. It's had a paint job. It's had some recent tyres as well. I just adore that. Just not a huge amount of cash, but what a lovely thing. And you never see them either. And you always get a smile and a wave when you're driving a Hillman Minx. Everybody loves them. Now, we all know my love for air-cooled Volkswagen Beetles. This is it, triple black Carman convertible, 1974, 1303. Again, just a quick recap, the 1303s, not considered to be the prettiest of Beetles, but by far the best dynamically because you've got McPherson strut front end, you've got a very nice boot, and I've had the carpet out of this earlier, and it's really, really nice underneath. So it's the most usable of all the Beetles, it's the most drivable. It will easily sit on the motorway at 70 miles an hour. It's got an exceptionally nice interior, if you have a look inside, which is worn very, very well. And this has got like so much paperwork. This had a very expensive restoration with lots of pictures, and they have all been kept. And I would advise you all guys, with these videos, please, we try and get them out as early as we can. So today is Wednesday, the video will go out tonight for sure. You have 3 days to come look at these cars. If you can't be here in person, there's videos for every single car. If there's photographs and you need to see them, our team will be happy to email them to you. We want you to have the most amount of information. And of course, we are the only sales room that has a ramp, and we video and photograph every car underneath so that you can have a look. You can't beat being here in person, but the next best thing is all the information that we put online. So buy with confidence. I'm looking at this as well. Come and look at this, Elliot. That's had a new roof look, a new very, very expensive roof. Looking at that. That's probably a couple of grand just there. Now you can buy this car for not an obscene amount of money. £8,000 to £9,000 is the estimate on that car. It's been in storage, it's MOT exempt, and I absolutely flipping love it, I have to say. I would like to own that car, that's mega. If it was mine, I think I'd just slam it, just a little slam there, little shortened spring, drop spring seats, something like that. There's so many great handling bits for these cars, or just be a purist and drive as it is. Either way, you'll have a lovely thing. Talking of cute cars that you want to cuddle, 1968 Fiat 110 500 had a full restoration in 2011, and you've been paying attention for this video and you already know that the restorations you want to buy are about 10 years old because you can see how they've sat. And this one, my friends, has sat beautifully. Left-hand drive, you spotted that. Came from Switzerland, home of reliable watches and tasty chocolate, and it's very, very nice inside. I'm going to let Elliot come round, there you go. Look at that. So yeah, basically restored 12 years ago to a very nice standard. These are a lot of fun, these. You'll always find homes for them. You'll always find a parking space for them, and people always let you out in traffic. Great with a roof as well. Drives really well, sounds wonderful. So let me give you some other inside little tips here. So the car was given an oil change early this year, and we fired it up, and it just absolutely runs like a little Swiss watch. Well, it's from Switzerland. 8 to 9 grand to buy you that. You could not put one together for double that, believe me. I know, I've done it. It was painful. And it's just adorable, isn't it? Also, guys, left-hand drive. We've got a few left-hand drive cars in this sale. Don't be put off by them. 2 reasons. One, you'll get used to it faster than you think. Generally speaking, left-hand drive cars are nicer cars because they come from better countries. And also, when you come to sell, it's a global market. We're shipping cars all over the world here. However you choose to sell your car, obviously we'd love it through us. If you sell cars into Europe, left-hand drive is actually a bonus, and it's so easy to export cars now. So actually, left-hand drive cars aren't as bad as you think. This is a particularly nice left-hand drive car, 1979 Chevrolet Corvette C3. I love a C3, I have one, I have a 1980. They're just a mega car. This is the L82, which is a very desirable code. This one has loads of mega upgrades. The wheels, the induction hood, it's had all the money spent, like tens of thousands. If you want history, if you want provenance, if you want builds, if you want trophies, we even have trophies, look. There you go. There's just some of the awards that this car's won. Everything on this car is just 10, basically. So much money, so many bells. Paint's lovely, trim's lovely, engine's had a rebuild. just mega. Full nut and bolt restoration basically. And for that reason, the estimate is 25 to 27 grand. Probably cost you 50 grand to build one to this standard. And then you'd have to find a really great car to start with. Stunning thing. If you've never driven a C3, I think they are one of the most beautiful shapes. Imagine if this was a Porsche of the same period. So this one is a 79. Imagine if that was a 79 turbo, how much money that would be. But the power of these engines and the sound that they make being a V8, lightly customised, tastefully customised, and again, a car I would very much like to own. So I'm just going to let you drink that in without me in the way for a moment. It's a Batmobile, isn't it? The little red pinstripe gets you there. And that registration number, which is worth many thousands on its own, comes with a sale. Awesome. The 9-year-old me wants to buy that very, very much. You can't beat a Land Rover. Obviously, there's the new Defender and there's all this new stuff and there's the Ineos Grenadier, but you cannot beat, can you? You cannot beat the original, particularly in Series 3. Everyone has their favourite Land Rover. To me, Series 3 I think is the best proportion, the best looking, particularly an 88-inch wheelbase like this. This is the colour I would order. This is the roof I would like. And if you look inside, it's just lovely. Again, a car that someone has clearly spent an awful lot of money maintaining and restoring. Look at that in there. It's had the seat conversion done and it looks beautiful. This is 69,000 miles, 5 former keepers. It's been with the same family since 2018. It's got the 2.25 litre petrol with it, the overdrive, and it's obviously been restored to a ridiculous standard. The marine paint, that's all new. It's had a refurbished bulkhead, hardtop as well it's got, new Goodrich all-terrains. This is not your normal tired old Series 3. This is a car that's had a lot of money lavished on it. And it's just a really great condition. I can't really describe this to you. So things like the galv bumpers, it's not too shiny, it's not too perfect. It's just really, really level. And just the way that the galvs just weathered a little bit on all of this, it just feels right. 13 to 14 grand you could probably buy that for. And that's 20 times cooler than a Grenadier, isn't it? And no less usable. And of course it's going to be worth £14,000 forever. Now this is something we don't see very often. I blame it on a street machine as a kid, but I desperately want to hot rod this. But I don't think you should, it's probably too nice. 1930 Ford Model A Coupe, and it's just splendid. And this stuff to me at the moment, I think it's because I'm getting old, I'm 50 in a week. And all of a sudden, all this pre-war stuff I'm really starting to feel. I'm really starting to appreciate the aesthetic of it. And actually, even in a standard trim, that's a very pretty car, isn't it? So what can I tell you about this? It came into the UK in 2014. It's got the 3.3. It's got a lovely set of Firestones on it as well. It's got the Safari opening windscreen. It's got indicators on, which is obviously not standard, but a really nice little modification. Makes it a little bit safer, stops people driving into you. And it was actually in the 1981 war film Das Boot, which is one of my favourite war films, actually. This car is in it. So if you want a screen-used Ikon that's exceptionally nice, again, older restoration, a couple of tiny little marks on the paint, and I do mean tiny. But with a car of this era, it's very rare that you want it to be absolutely pristine. Again, it's just that kind of usability. It drives, it works. There's loads of videos of it running on the website. And for that, you would pay, my friends, 13 to 15 grand for this screen-used car that you can just jump in and drive. And again, if you just want something that's a little bit fun that you can fix and work on yourself. And the beauty of these old Fords was they were designed to be used in remote parts of America. Nothing's unobtainable, nothing's unfixable. And it looks as cool as this. Talking of cool Fords, from one era to another, this I've got a lot of time for. This I'm utterly in love with. As Johnny Smith says on his podcast, Find Me Another, ST200 estate. There's just no ST200s left anyway. They're a very rare car now. They all rotted away. If you've never driven a Mondeo of this era, they are surprisingly epic. They really do drive well. Ford had nailed the dynamics of this car. They're a lovely thing to cruise in. The ST's quick and the estate is usable. So here you have a combination of all of the good stuff. Rare car, V6 engine, makes a lovely noise, handles and drives really well, has a huge amount of boot space, and you are very unlikely to go to a car show and see another one. We think there are 15 of these left. 15 of these left. Just had 720 quid spent. So it's just had brake pads, brake hoses, airflow meters, rear subframe bolt kits and service. It had bodywork restoration in 2021 to the tune of 4 grand, I would imagine, addressing things like arches and things like that. 10 stamps in the service history book, a ton of invoices, and a sexy spare wheel. Do you know me? I always like to look at the history of a car and think, the mentality of someone who knows they are selling their car, yet still spends nearly 800 quid, just making sure it's right for the next person. That's a very decent vendor, isn't it? And for that reason, a wonderful car. Not going to be huge amounts of money. You think of fast, rare Fords that there are 15 left of, you'd be thinking you'd be spending many, many tens of thousands of pounds. 5 to 6 grand, you could be the lucky owner of that. And I just think that's an epic thing. But look, it's got the dog space in the back, the bike space in the back. If you're looking for a practical classic, there you go, you found it. More lovely Fords, more lovely Fords. 1990 Escort XR3i convertible. Who didn't want one of these back in the day? We've just had a bit of a heat wave here in the UK. This would be the perfect car for it. 35,000 miles showing, but it's had an odo change in its history, guys. So please just do satisfy yourself of the history. It's probably nearer to 100 odd. Great colour combination, original spec, the hood's in mega condition. Always look at the seats on an XR because the driver's bolster tends to sag, and if you look, either that one hasn't or it's been very expertly retrimmed. Either way, it's mint. Very clean little car, that one. So as I say, do please just check the history on that for yourself because it has had a speedo change in its history. So the mileage showing is slightly less than the mileage that's actually happened, but we have got paperwork to show all of that all the way through. And that's going to be estimated at 5.5 to 6.5 grand for you to drive around looking like you are absolutely the dogs of 1990. You could have been a successful estate agent. Everybody wanted these back in the day. They were just so cool. Or maybe you prefer a coupe, a 3-door, the hatch. Very nice, 86. Now this is interesting because C-plate, you'll find quite a few Mark IIIs on a C-plate. So actually to be into a Mark IV, this is a very, very early Mark IV. And to me, I think this was the prettiest of all of the front-wheel drive Escorts. Very, very nice car. Original factory unmolested specification, this one. It's had a bit of restoration work. It's had a bit of money spent on it. Just a really nicely tidy car. It's had 8 owners altogether. Drives really, really well. And it's just unmessed about with. Talking of seat bolsters, look at this one. What's going on here? That is unfeasibly good. It's got to have been tightened and retrimmed because that's like day one, that one. I like that a lot. Again, I do think these front drive Escorts haven't quite reached their money yet. So I think you could buy one of these and come out of it in years to come. Because they always say, look at the cars that went before, look at the price of Mark 1s and Mark 2s, and we're about to look at a very lovely Mark 2 in a minute. They are still a little bit silly. So Mark 3s and Mark 4s haven't quite hit the money. And all you need to do is get to that point where the generation of people that wanted one gets to my kind of age, 50, they want to buy one because it reminds them of when they were a youth. It's what they wanted, it's what their mum had, it's what their dad had. These were a very desirable car back in the day. I think they still have a little way to go if you look at Ford prices. And Exhibit A of that is this, 1980 Ford Escort RS 2000. They just still look so good, don't they? Droop snoot, because obviously you have the flat front and the droop snoot. I prefer the droop snoots. This was, in the day, 1980. I was a little kid, and my next door neighbour used to have a new one of these every 2 years. He used to buy a new RS 2000 every 2 years. And I remember seeing them on the driveway and just absolutely losing it. Just incredible looking things, aren't they? 65,000 miles, 3 former keepers, had an engine rebuild. This has got 145 of your English horses. This is a quick car. This is a sprightly old stick, this. Massive history file and a mag featured car. It's also had a box of spare parts in the boot as well, so timing belt, fan belts. It's got a new carb in there, so there's a box of spares. You will never go wrong with an RS. If you buy an RS 2000 for the right kind of money, and I'd wager we've estimated this at 32 to 36, which is the right kind of money for one of these. Not too much, not too little, just right, like Baby Bear's porridge. That's a car that you will have some fun with 145 horsepower. You will always come out of and people will always want to buy. And it's super nice, super presentable, really nice paint on it. Once for nothing really, just a nice thing that you will have some fun with. Get adoring glances everywhere you go. Yes please, to that one. And talking of yes please, talking cars, oh, JDM. So I used to have a Subaru specialist in the early noughties, and I used to bring quite a few cars over from Japan. So I bought mainly Imprezas, quite a few Evos, but every now and then you'd put something in the crate just because it was nice at the auction. And this was the car that I never bought over, but always wished I had. So 1998 Honda Integra Type R. If you've never driven one of these guys, it redefines the handling of a front-wheel drive car. This and the DC5 that came after it, next level. If you are a rear-wheel drive enthusiast that would never sully yourself with a front-wheel drive car, I urge you to try and get a go in one of these. It will completely reconfigure your thinking. They are like nothing else. This one, 74,000 miles, stunning original car. Every time you see one of these, the arches have always disappeared or they've been replaced. This is neither. This is original arches, which are all still there. It's the tiniest, tiniest amount of very, very surface corrosion on those. But to find one of these with original panels with the original arches in is unheard of. Have a look at that. Low owners, came here to the UK in 2008 and I think has lived a very easy life since. What a nice thing. With 100% original paint on that as well. Now for that you're going to pay £16,000 to £18,000, and mark my words friends, mark my words, in 5 or 6 years time there's something happening in the JDM market at the moment, the Japanese domestic market, and it's cars at the top, things like the Subaru 22B which are now £400,000, £500,000. You've got cars beneath that like the Type Rs, Impreza Type Rs, the really desirable Hondas, the Evos, or everything's going up. So to buy a car in the teens that has this level of provenance, best colour, championship white as well, is all the great things that Hondas do. I think we will look back and laugh at the days when these were 16 to 18,000. So if you have the money and you've always wanted one, get one. I promise you it's money in the bank. Now coming this way to the other end of the performance spectrum, but no less fun, 1953 MGTF, right-hand drive, home market car. And it's remarkable. The thing about these, the really nice ones tend to be the ones that come in from California because they've had an easy sun life. But this is a British car that looks like it's been in California. It's so nice. Recently recommissioned to the sum of over £3,000 with a full service gearbox. It's been restored to a lovely standard. It's got its British Motor Heritage certificate as well. It's got side screens, it's got period seat belts, and it's as nice underneath as it is on top. Someone has spent so much money on this, and it's really nice to see on a right-hand drive car, because as I say, the really nice ones bodily tend to be left-hand drive ones that have lived a sunny, easy life. But there you go, 16 to 18 grand. I bet that's probably a 30-odd grand restoration to get it to that standard. Because that's another thing, guys. If you are thinking of restoring a lot of cars, have a look here first. Because unless the car has a sentimental value to you, like it was your dad's or whatever, it was a family heirloom, never really makes any sense. I say here's probably 30 grand's worth of restoration, and you could buy it for half of that, and you're driving it the day after you paid for it, whereas a restoration could take 4 or 5 years. To me, it's the way to go. That's a lovely thing, isn't it? Cruising in the summer. Now we've got a wonderful collection. There's a gentleman quite close to us here called John Lee, who was a discerning collector, and as you're about to see, had not only impeccable taste, but fairly deep pockets. He had some really beautiful cars, and we're honoured to say that we've got a lot of them in this next sale. So if you like really nice British stuff that correctly bought, really well spec'd in orders, beautifully maintained, in some cases beautifully restored, and needs nothing, you're about to see some of those cars. Starting with this XK140 drop head from the John Lee collection. What can I tell you? UK right-hand drive car once again. They only made 480 of these as well, drop heads. It's got the overdrive, it's got disc brakes on the front, and it had a nut and bolt restoration in the early 1990s. I love this fact as well. This is really cool. It's got all of the bills and bits and pieces with it. Engine and mechanical overhaul by DK Engineering in 2018 to the sum of 11,000. The front seats have just been done. It's got all of its bits and pieces, and it's a matching numbers car. Everything from the head to the engine to the gearbox to the chassis is all as it left Browns Lane. So it's perfect, absolutely perfect. Fabulous colour as well, beautiful interior. And you could buy that car for somewhere between £80,000 and £90,000. And I suggest if you're watching this video and you've been looking at XKs and XK prices, you know that is pretty much bob on for an absolutely beautiful car. Once for nothing other than for a new name on the V5. That's just splendid. The Lotus Elise, work of genius, isn't it really? Nothing I can say. If you know what these cars are, you know what you're looking at. Great colour. This obviously isn't the correct colour for year, but it's a really great later colour applied to an early car. These Series 1 cars are just blessed good news. Hilarious fun to drive. Really nice and easy to look after. Drive as a classic, take it on track, spank everything worth 6 figures, and then drive home again at the end. This one's just had a service in Camber, which is very nice to know. It's a 1997, done 36,000 miles. It's got a decat exhaust, which makes it sound very nice. It drives, sounds, and looks brilliant. And for me, the colour could not be better. Just basic stripped out thing, but not huge amounts of money, 18 to 20 grand. I mean, you pay that for a decent kit car these days, don't you? And this has the provenance of being a factory built Lotus. They will only go one way. There's less of them. People are starting to realise what a piece of work this car is, and the Series 1 cars are the ones that everybody wants. Non-standard colour isn't to everyone's cup of tea, but for me, it could not be better. It really couldn't. What was I saying about JDM cars? Just a moment of hush and appreciation for this. Again, talking about cars that are less than they will be and less than they should be. 1992 Mazda RX-7 FD in silver, in flawless bodywork. Wheels are obviously non-standard, but it is one of those markets and one of those cars where actually people like that sort of thing. So the wheels do not hurt it at all. Just have a look at the condition of this, guys. It's got 41,000 miles on it, but it's had a speedo change on there. But it's very, very low mileage. It's got so I think that will obviously be in kilometres, then it's been converted back to MPH, so it's not actually done that amount of miles. Tastefully modded, Japanese import, low owners. Just everything on this car, you've got to watch the paint on these, you've got to watch the arches on these as well. Everything on this car is just great. I love the wheels. Now these are starting to get very, very expensive. You can see the top of this market, it's like 35, 40 grand. We've estimated this one at 20 to 22. It might blow through that, to be fair. If you look at some of the other Japanese cars we've had through, they have gone for a lot of money. But if you don't want to spend any money doing it up, if you don't want to spend any money on bodywork, if you just want one you can tuck away as an investment, please don't do that. Please drive it. It's just such a nice thing to drive. This is a great car. It would make a great investment, but I would urge you to buy it and enjoy it because, again, the sound that these things make and the dynamics of them are just truly wonderful and they shouldn't be tucked away. Moving on, another wonderful car from the John Lee collection. If you've had a good year, if you want to celebrate, how about treating yourself to this 2019 Bentley Mulsanne? Now, this is a car that would have cost a significant house money. You could have bought a very, very nice house in a lot of towns for what this car cost new, over 300,000. It has only done 6,500 miles from new. This is the equivalent of going to buy a new Mulsanne, but you will buy this, guys, for probably around a third of what it cost new, despite the 6,500 miles. Let me open the door so you can see what all the fuss is about. Mulsanne, I think, is one of the most handsome Bentleys ever. All of them. This is one of the best proportioned cars. Yeah, £303,291 when it was new, and it was actually supplied and specified by one of the Bentley directors. That was the first owner. So as you can imagine, it has every option. 50 grand's worth of options: comfort spec, entertainment, premier spec, GPS tracking, adaptive cruise control. It's got the large glass sunroof as well. Loads of services, loads of MOTs, even though it's only done 6.5, and the original Mulsanne book. Now, as I say, over £300,000, 6,500 miles ago, specified for Bentley director. You could buy that for somewhere between 120 and 140,000. So almost a third after 6.5. Not great situation if you were John Lee or the Bentley director, but a wonderful situation for you to buy this car. And it's pristine, guys. It needs nothing. Just jump in and go and look like you've won at life. I love that. Another lovely, wonderful car from the same collection. You can see what I mean about impeccable taste and beautiful condition. This is a 1996 Continental R Jack Barclay edition, 57,000 miles, auto of course. It's been in John's family since 2007. They did 10 of these, Manor Park Ward car with the nice arches on as well in 1996, with the flared wheel arches, with the bigger rear track, which looks really good, lowered by 15mm, 18-inch sports wheels, great colour as well. And it's been used. That's what's great about this car. It's perfect condition, needs nothing, but it's been used and enjoyed. It's actually got some miles on the clock. What else can I tell you? It's got tinted windscreen, it's got viscous control differential, it's got radio upgrade, it's got phone upgrade. It's a really, really nice spec, this car. And I just think this Continental for me, I don't dislike the Volkswagen Group one at all, but I just think this is the Continental for me. The way that this looks, the rear haunches, and particularly with this one with the wider track and the rear arches, it's a really butch looking thing, isn't it? It's like an aggressive Bentley. It's the last of the true lineage. If you think of what Bentley used to be, the WO cars, which were these big gruff trucks almost, that they used to drive to Le Mans and beat the French with, this harks back to that to me, just the sheer brutality of it, that you don't get quite so much on the later Bentleys. I would like that very much, and you could buy that car for between 50 and 60,000 pounds, and it is gorgeous, my friends. This is it, isn't it? You're driving to Monaco to your yacht. What do you take? You take this, the 2002 Rolls-Royce Corniche convertible, again from the John Lee collection. It's just stunning. Come and stand here, Elliot. This is the view of this car, this front three-quarters here, because you can really get to see the beauty of the coach building. Look at this line here, this sway's line that goes all the way through to the back, unbroken. It's stunning. 40,000 miles from new. This colour's iridium green, which I adore, with a dark green hood. It's got the lovely barley leather in it as well. It's got Rolls-Royce umbrellas actually mounted in the boot lid. It's got one of the last rollers to leave the Crewe factory, and they only made 38 of these in right-hand drive. Ridiculous. 10 stamps in the book, brand new set of Avon turbo speeds. Just a mega thing. Again, these cars were significant amounts of money, house money when new. You could buy that today for between 80 and 90 grand. It has to be one of the best ones for sale ever, anywhere. Flawless, guys, absolutely flawless. And it just screams old money. And I just think if you took your cash into something like that, if you're looking around at newer cars for 80 to 90 grand, newer luxury cars, you don't actually get a lot for 80 to 90 grand anymore. I've had a friend who's just spec'd an M4 Touring, cost him 105 grand. So would you rather have an M4 Touring at 105 grand or that at between 80 and 90? You don't need to answer, I already know. Now this is really cool. So we do love an X350, of course. This is the aluminium XJ, really nice looking car. This is from John Lee's collection. This was his daily, basically, and because of that, are you sitting down? 225,000 miles. But come and look close, Elliot, come and look close. He had this car meticulously resprayed, and I don't know who did it, but it's probably better than the factory paint. So the car looks like it's done 22,000 miles, this car. The interior, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So this is a car that's been so meticulously maintained. He obviously had his cars, 24 stamps in the book, incredible condition. So it's got adaptive cruise control, satellite navigation, and full climate. And say a paint job about 12, 13 years ago, I guess to cover the chips, but if you can just see the flake here and the lacquer and the perfection of this paint, I don't know if you can pick that up on camera. I cannot stress enough, this car looks like a tenth of its miles. Wheels are perfect, leather's perfect, paint's perfect. The service history is ridiculous on this car. Why is that good to you? Because it drives like a new car, it drives like a car that's done a tenth of the mileage. Normally these X350s are starting to go for really good money now. We've sold a few of these here and they go for mega money, well into 5 figures. I think that could be a bit of a bargain. It drives like a 5-figure car. I think you might be able to buy that because of the mileage for single-figure thousands. So no reserve car, could be a lot of fun. Moving on to Sharknose 5 Series. I'm going to let Elliot pull back and show you. We have a range of 3 for you to choose from, all a bit rare and all a bit special. This is a very rare spec, this one. So this is the 525 Elux, which bizarrely has the larger 2.7 engine, because of course that makes it more economical. German engineering. 30,000 miles, automatic. Probably the best colour on its original metric wheels, which is both good and bad, as you know. Looks correct. They can be a little bit saucy when you come to change them, can be a little bit exciting price-wise, but if you're a purist, can't even say it, that's the wheel and tyre that you want. So original spec, it's been in long-term storage, this, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. Look at the trim on that, look at the condition. So if I'm being super, super pedantic, if you want to make this a concours car, you might just want to pay a little bit of attention to the trims there. Got a tiny bit of discoloration on the chrome trim. It's got stickers. It's just lovely, isn't it? So if you're a BMW collector or you want a car that you can actually use and enjoy, the thing about these is they are, in the summer, you could daily this, you really could. Because of the rarity, because of the colour, because of the mileage, because of the condition, this one's estimated at 14 to 16. An incredibly rare car to find anyway, but in this condition, exceptional. And the colour, I just cannot like more, basically. Now, you know that legend Chris Harris, he has Sharknose M5. They are silly money now. But if you can't quite stretch to that, how about an M535i, which is kind of like all the best bits of having an M5, but at a fraction of the cost. So if you look, you've got your sexy body kit, your wheel arches, your deep front air dam. This has got the later wheels on, which I do quite like. But look at the interior, look. This has got all the bits and pieces. Unusually this one, and it could make it a bit of a bargain, this is an automatic. So you've got all of that sporty look. You've almost got sort of M5 trousers, but then you've got the waftability of the automatic. Really nice looking thing, original book pack, and loads of history with it. It's got obviously all the service stamps in there, 17 service stamps, the original PDI, all the body inspections, old V5Cs in there as well, all of the work and bills, all the tyre invoices. That's a pleasant motor car, isn't it? But the crazy thing is, I think because of the fact it's an automatic, that's going to be a cheap car. It's done a slightly higher mileage, that one. It's done 144,000 miles, 12,000 to 14,000 pounds. Sorry, 150,000 miles, that one. Great car, really nice looking thing. And moving on to the final one, this is our 520 Lux, so this is the smallest engine. These wheels are obviously off a later 5 Series. If they're not your bag, we have the original metric ones in the boot. I can show you those. So there you go. Ta-da! Now the reason these aren't on if you've ever priced up a set of tyres for these, it can be quite a lot. You could probably buy one of our cheaper cars for about the same price. So a lot of people do keep those for purity and then fit basically a 15 or 16-inch wheel. It looks really good, it works, and it saves you a few quid. So this one has done 80,000 miles. Again, it's an auto. It's the 6-cylinder 2-litre, this one. It's got a factory roof, which is very desirable. And the interior is lovely. There you go. Got redesigned, and it's a luxe. Again, super duper on the body, tiny little dimple dent I just noticed on the wing. I'm being really pedantic here, guys. If I'm faulting it for a tiny parking dent, you can tell how good the car is. But what a lovely thing. So just pull back and have a look at that. If you've ever wanted a Sharknose 5 Series, this is probably going to be the least expensive. This is like 8 to 9, maybe 12 to 14. Maybe that's going to be the one that fetches the money because of the crazy mileage. But which one would you like? Take your pick. They're all beautiful. They all drive really well. Again, have a look on our listing for each car. We always put a YouTube video. If the car runs and drives and is road legal, we always drive it. And again, if you're here on sales day, you want to speak to the sales team and ask, what does it drive like? They will give you their honest opinion. It's not in our interests to fluff it up. 1973 was a fabulous year for so many reasons. I was born, this Dolomite Sprint was born. And again, these were once a really underrated car. People didn't realise what a brilliant thing. Obviously, great saloon racing car, British touring car, very successful car. They're great to drive. They've got a fabulous engine, they're rear-wheel drive, the handling is exceptional. And this is a very early one. This is one of the first Sprints off the production line, right-hand drive car with overdrive, this one. Mimosa yellow, which I love. It's got its heritage certificate. It's got some new Dunlops on those 13-inch alloys. It's got a lovely Radiomobile radio. And it's got a very clean interior. Have a look inside there, Elliot. I do like Mimosa yellow. It's a great colour, isn't it? Lovely engine bay on this as well. And you don't find many this early, and you certainly don't find many in this condition. They're starting to go up. The days of them being single-figure thousands for nice cars, they've gone. This one, 15 to 17. Which again, I think is really great value for what it is. You have to remember, really, Triumph kind of almost came up with the concept of a sporting executive saloon to a point before BMW did. And certainly for us British audience, they were the people that gave you a compact executive saloon with sporty pretensions. Great car, really wonderful handling car. And I say, Google the sporting history of the Triumph Dolomite. I think you'd be quite pleasantly surprised. Other special British motor cars, how about this one? Now this is an XJ SC, you can see that. So this is the car, effectively it's a Targa Jaguar. So you've got the removable panel here. You can make it into a convertible if you want. It's very clever, more versatile than the actual convertible that came later. Why is this car special? If you come around the front, not only is it very handsome, very unusual colour combination. They only made 3 in this colour. But this was actually, we believe, and it's heavily provenanced, the car that was at the 1983 New York Motor Show. And we are being told that by Jaguar themselves, so we've got to believe them. If that wasn't good enough for you, for your provenance and collectability, it was then sold to a gentleman called Tom Walkinshaw. You may have heard of him. He was quite good with Jaguars, particularly XJSs. So this was in the Walkinshaw family clan, and there's invoices and V5s to that effect as well. It's got the Getrag 5-speed, so have a look inside. It's a manual, and we think, again, it was factory fitted, because when it came back from the New York Motor Show, it was originally left-hand drive for the American market. It was converted back to right-hand drive, but by Jaguar. So this is no lash-up, guys. This is the factory just messing about with their own demo cars. So mega, mega, mega history. Doesn't get much better than a Motor Show car, factory converted, factory 5-speed, owned by Tom Walkinshaw. If you would like an XJ with all of those things, I think you probably would, you could buy this one for somewhere between 15 and 17. And the car is really nice. It needs nothing at all. And I love the SC. It's a bit chintzy and a bit period, but the versatility of this versus a standard convertible I think is better. Because actually if you're driving on the motorway on a sunny day, just take the Targa panel out and leave the roof up, actually gives you less buffeting. That's a splendid thing. Other desirable Jaguars, the XKR 5-litre, probably the best colour. What do you think about this? Here's today's contentious thing. I think this and the Aston of the same period, I think this is the prettier car. What do you think? Leave in the comments below. This one has 32,000 miles, it's automatic, outstanding condition. It's got 16 stamps in the book, original build sheets and invoices, which is very nice. Full set Dunlops, which is always good. They really were on their game, don't you think? For me, XKR of this period, there's just nothing not to love. And also as well, if you know the early XKs, they did this thing, you'll know this if you're a Jaguar buff. The early ones, the outer lights and the inner lights don't match. It does my head in. Where these later ones, they do. They're much more homogeneous. It looks loads better. Just come and look at the rear 3/4 of this. Just drink it in. I mean, you can see, I think Aston and Jaguar were copying each other's homework at the time, because you can see elements of both of those cars in each other, but I do think the XKR is the prettier of the two. The other thing is, and this is no bad thing, even with that low mileage, this is the cheaper of the two. Well, this is going to be 20 to 22, best colour, best spec, mega bills, low mileage, 20 to 22 grand, a lot of car for the money. Now, we all know my love for an XJ. I've got a 300 and a 308. This is, of course, is the XJ40, but it's not a Jag, it's a Daimler. So you get the fluted grille and fluted boot embellishment. This one is very lovely. It's done 61,000 miles with loads of history, great spec. My favourite wheels of this period as well. I love the dish on these wheels. And look inside, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very clean. Walnuts all to spec. The leather's in lovely condition. Tons of bills, tons of history with it as well. It's not your usual rock box. Normally these, because they're not massively expensive cars, so they're normally full of filler, they've been welded, they've had tons of paint. And this has had a little bit of paint, to be honest. I'm looking here, you can just see a tiny bit of paint build up there. You can see it's had paint on the doors. I'm going to give it an 8 on that front. In terms of condition elsewhere and how straight it is, I'm going to give it a 9.5. It's particularly good, this one. It is not your normal inexpensive Jag Daimler that's going to be a rock box and horrible. I think you really would have a pride of ownership in this. I think you'd have a lot of fun driving it. And I think in the warmer months, use it as your daily. I've been using my XJ Sport as my daily. They're just a fabulous car. They're just a proper waffmobile. You could buy that, we've estimated that between 3 and 4 grand. I cannot think of a nicer way to get to work. I really can't. And if you've got kids, they're really practical. My kids love it. They just think it's a really nice looking thing. In fact, my eldest daughter wants one as her first car. Perhaps not the most realistic choice, but I can't fault her for trying. And again, this one, XJS facelift model, 1993, getting towards the end of the run out of this model, and they really did start to look very good at this point. This has got 54,000 miles, 15 service stamps on the book, full set of matching Avons on this, and again, just look at the condition of this car, and look at the interior condition. Automatic, of course. When you think when the XJ came out, so late 70s, and it ran all the way through to the 90s with this minor facelift. So Jaguar went to IAD and got them to facelift the early cars, which, if you remember, used to have single lights in the back. And if you look at this later facelift, it's got these wrap rounds, which I think work really, really well. And flamenco red with magnolia hide, possibly the best colour combination. Just look at that. Isn't that a pretty car? And you could buy that between 15 and 17 grand. I think with the mileage and the condition, you would struggle to find a nicer one. I don't think you'd find a nicer colour combination. I think these cars have yet to reach the zenith. Look at E-Type prices. XJS prices are nowhere near. At some point, that gap has to narrow. I think these will go up and they will come down. And I think if you have a nice one, you'll be feeling very happy about that. And finally, to end this first video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, is the midlife crisis trike, once owned by National Treasure, can't even say it, National Treasure, Simon Gregson, good friend of mine. He basically bought this as a midlife crisis, sold it. The current owners had a little bit of fun with it, finished their midlife crisis. Is it time for your midlife crisis? If so, this is what you want. These are not just a Beetle engine and a cobbled together bit of pipe scaffolding. These are these Roweco trikes. They are made beautifully. They're incredibly over-engineered. They're a lot of money when they're new. They hold the money really well. So this has got a full Harley motor in the back, if you look. And it's a 4-speed manual gearbox. It's a bit of a weapon, this. Look at the size of the back tyres as well. Big top box to get all your bits and pieces on. And that's going to be somewhere between 9 and 11. But the nice thing about these is if you want a motorbike and you want a loud one, I'm certainly in that camp, you can drive this on a car licence. So basically, this is classified, as far as the DVLA and licensing people are concerned, same as a Reliant Robin. Exactly the same. So you can just drive around. You don't even have to have a helmet on if you don't want to. So there you go, midlife crisis trike. Don't forget, you've still got 3 days to come and physically view all the rest of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday morning. Auction starts at 11. Make sure you've registered to bid online or come and see us in person. Fun starts at 11.